Good morning, students. How are you all? Hope you all fine at your homes. So I'm your computer teacher Shifa Monga from California Public School. So in the last two videos we have discussed about chapter number 1. We have discussed two very important topics, that is BOP and OOP. In this video we will discuss the principles of object oriented programming. So let's start. Today's our first topic is what is an object. You have heard this word in your English language as well. So in a computer language, an object is an entity that exists in a real world, an object having some attributes and behavior. So ऑब्जेक्ट एक ऐसी इंटिटी है जो कि इस रियल वर्ल्ड में एग्जिस्ट करती है. इट कैन बी अ लिविंग थिंग, इट कैन बी अ नॉन लिविंग थिंग. कोई भी ऐसी चीज जो इस रियल वर्ल्ड में एग्जिस्ट करती है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एन ऑब्जेक्ट. An object having some attributes and behavior. What is the meaning of attributes? That means its features. And what are these behavior? Behavior means actions. So any object having some attributes and behavior. For example, there is example of a car. Car is an object. I told you that it can be it can be a living thing or it can be a non-living thing. As car is a non-living thing, but it is an object because it exists in a real world, so that is why it is an entity and it is called an object. So attributes of a car. So car के attributes features क्या हो सकते हैं? That is the color of the car, make model of the car, engine size, and what are their behavior, that driving forward, backward, accelerating, etc. So these are some of the attributes and behavior of a class. If I talk about, suppose you have a object name a person or a student, you have a object name student. So what will be attributes and behavior of a student? Just think about it. So suppose we have an object named student. So attributes of the students are its roll number, is name, class, admission number are attributes which is common. हर student का roll number होता है, हर student का name है, class है, admin number है. That is, it is always common. Attributes are common. Then the behavior of the student, performance of a student in studies, कि वो पढ़ाई में कैसा है, and participation in curriculum activities. So these are the behavior. See, attributes are common, सबके सेम रहते हैं, but behavior are different. हर student perform अच्छा तो नहीं कर सकता स्टडीज में. Suppose अगर एक student है, that student is good in studies but not good in other activities. Maybe some student is good in curricular activities but not good in studies. So this is common. This can be a variant. So object is a real world entity that exists in a real world. It has a common attributes and have a different behavior. So after object we have a next thing, that is what is class. Class, you also heard about this word as well. So a class is a group of objects that have some common behavior, that have some common attributes and behavior. Let me a single example of your class. Your 9th class is a group of students and students are objects, and every student have some common attributes. That means student name, class, roll number, and behavior. That means, and we have already discussed what is behavior. That means your performance in studies and participation in curriculum activities. So basically a class is a blueprint of an object. Class is a blueprint of an object. For example, class. Fruit is a class name and object. So our class name is fruit and objects are mango, apple, grapes, banana, etc. Suppose I'm giving you a class furniture. So what are the objects of the furniture class? It's sofa, chair, bed, almirah. So these are collectively known as a furniture class. Same way, these are collectively known as a fruit class. Next move to the basic principles of object oriented programming. So number one is data abstraction. It refers to the act of represent only essential features without including the background details. That means you have to hide essential information or technical information from the user and show the user only the information which is required by him. So in this data abstraction, we have an example of a TV and a remote control, ATM machine and coffee machine. There are many more examples in the real world. Let me explain one of them. Before that, we will read this line first, that it is always relative to the user or purpose. So data abstraction is always main concern, किसके साथ ज़्यादा है ये, किसके साथ ज़्यादा relate करता है, to the user or purpose. So let's move to the example of the data abstraction. So let me have an example of a ATM machine. So we have a diagram. In this diagram, we have a technician perspective and user perspective. In the technician perspective, in this part, this person, that is the technician, that is the technical person, highly skilled person, it knows that how money will go to the ATM machine and how we can get it from the ATM machine. जबकि user को सिर्फ क्या पता होता है, that you have to press this button, you have to just type your code, enter your amount which you want to get it and just press the OK button. That is enough. But technician का काम क्या होता है, that जो इस चीज़ को डिज़ाइन करता है. ATM is designed by this person and ATM is designed by this person. So user only knows this part. That is data abstraction, hiding this information and showing this information only. So this is data hiding. Data abstraction also promotes data hiding. It saves our data. What is your data here? Your password, your account number, that is the मेन कॉन्फिडेंशियल थिंग. सो ये चीज़ें सिर्फ यूज़र को पता होनी चाहिए, ठीक है. अब टेक्नीशियन को ये पता है कि कैसे ऑपरेट करता है. यूज़र को जितनी बात पता होनी चाहिए सिर्फ उतनी ही, जस्ट टू शो essential information to the user, otherwise and hiding complex details from the user. इसको complex पता है, इसको simple पता है. So user have to deal with this part, that is called your data abstraction. So this is two abstraction of an ATM: technician perspective and user perspective. In the same way, we have many more examples. We have an example of a TV and remote control. As we all know that we can control the TV through the remote. हमें नहीं पता कि रिमोट से जब हम वॉल्यूम को अप और डाउन करते हैं, हाउ इट कैन गेट द सिग्नल्स फ्रॉम द एयर. हमें नहीं पता. हम रिमोट को ऑपरेट करते हैं हम रिमोट को किसको ऑपरेट करने के लिए, टीवी को ऑपरेट करने के लिए. हम यहाँ से बैठ के चला रहे हैं, बट वी डोंट नो कि ये सिग्नल्स कैसे कैरी करता है, बिकॉज दिस इज द असेंशियल एंड द टेक्निकल इंफॉर्मेशन विच इज नॉट नीड टू रिक्वायर्ड बाय अस. So after this we have a second principle, that is inheritance. If you remember, in the last video we have discussed one note and that was that note that object oriented programming provides reusability. So in this way, so reusability means inheritance. So you have studied the term heredity in biology, which means children inherit feature of their parents. For example, hair color, nose shape, eye color, height, etc. Similarly, in object-oriented programming, one class to inherit from the other class. So in a very simple way, in the biology, we have heard this word, what is heredity? Heredity means when we get the feature from our parents. अब पेरेंट्स की बात करो तो कई बच्चों के अपने पेरेंट्स से बहुत से फीचर्स मैच करते हैं, जैसे हेयर कलर हो गया, आई कलर हो गया, हाइट हो गई, देयर आर मैनी मोर फीचर्स हो सकते हैं. तो वैसे ही इनहेरिटेंस में ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड के अंदर एक क्लास दूसरी क्लास को इनहेरिट कर सकती है. दैट मीन्स अगर एक क्लास के अंदर कोई फीचर्स हैं तो दूसरी क्लास उसको क्या कर सकती है, इनहेरिट कर सकती है. वी हैव अ सब क्लास, द क्लास दैट इज डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम अनदर क्लास, दैट इज योर चाइल्ड क्लास जो कि इनहेरिट कर रही है, that is called subclass. And the superclass, the class which it is derived, called superclass. And the parent class is called your superclass. So inheritance is based on subclass and superclass. So here we have an example of an animal. There are two kinds of animal, that is carnivores and herbivores. Carnivores are the tigers, lions, leopard. Herbivores are the cow, goat and buffaloes. So this is the category. अगर lion है, lion comes under in a carnivores. That creature of a god that eat another animals, and herbivores that eat only grass. So during inheritance, the elements of the base class are shared by the derived class. If you don't apply inheritance of if you do not apply inheritance, each object would need to define all of its characteristics. Suppose if you do not apply inheritance, आप किसी ऐसी चीज़ को यूज़ नहीं करते हो जो कि ऑलरेडी है, ऑलरेडी क्रिएटेड है, आप नहीं करते हो, then what will be the result? क्या होगा? That you have to define all of its features. आपको वो चीज़ खुद बनानी पड़ेगी, and it consumes lot of time. आपका टाइम बहुत ज़्यादा वेस्ट हो जाएगा. So it is always better to share the things with your base class. You can derive many more features from your base class. Now, it will be a time consuming first to create a class, then to create another brand new class that has similar functionality. आप यूज़ कर सकते हो उस चीज़ को. अगर आपको वही चीज़ चाहिए तो it would be better कि you will use inheritance. After this, the third principle of OOP is a polymorphism. Poly means many, morphism means forms. In polymorphism, single word having different meanings. Suppose the word duck. Duck in English defines a water bird, whereas the same word duck in a cricket match means a batsman who got out with no score. एक word है duck but with different meaning. Duck is a water bird, and in the duck in cricket we have a different meaning. In the same way, volume is a function. क्या कर सकते हैं हम, साइड भी, देर इज अ डिफरेंट पैरामीटर. यहाँ पे साइड है, यहाँ पे लेंथ, ब्रेड्थ और हाइट है, और यहाँ पे रेडियस है. क्लास इसकी क्या है, क्यूब, क्लास कबर्ड एंड क्लास सर्कल. सो देर इज अ वेरी स्पेशल नोट, polymorphism supports function overloading. Function overloading means using a same function name but different arguments. The things which is inside this parenthesis called argument. So having a same name but different arguments are called function overloading. After this, polymorphism as the process of using a function method for more than one purpose. Next, last principle of OOP is an encapsulation. It is a mechanism that binds the data and code, we can also say functions, together into a single unit is called encapsulation. So this is your class. Data and function are bind into a single unit. This is your unit and this is your class. This process is called a encapsulation. Why we are doing this? Data और function को एक साथ bind करने के पीछे what is the reason? To secure the data from the external use, from the unauthorized access. So that is why we use encapsulation. So thank you so much. Take care.